The year 2025 has presented substantial challenges for workers here in Uganda. Despite the ongoing efforts to promote decent work and social justice, many continue to experience exploitation and intolerable working conditions.
Fellow Ugandans and workers, unfortunately, as the year comes to the end, Notu is concerned on a number of issues that continue to affect workers of Uganda. The labor migration continues to be an issue in the country. Our fellow workers continue to be mistreated across the globe, and we want to appeal to government together with all of us that we work closely and ensure this matter is resolved. As a mitigating factor, Notu has already put in place a call center. Therefore, we are going to be in touch with the entire world on the workers who are out of the country.
The National Organization of Trade Unions, Notu Secretary General Richard Bigira, pointed out significant issues, including unregulated migration, weak government oversight, where he asserted the urgent need for more robust national workers' policies and reintegration programs to support impacted workers.
We continue to see the delayed ratification of Convention C-102 about social protection. We continue to see the delay of ratification of Convention C-189 about the domestic workers and the Convention 155 about occupational health and safety. These are key conventions which the country needs to ratify.
Notu applauded NRM for including the workers' agenda in their manifesto and applauded to all political actors to exercise calm and tolerance and to choose peace for the sake of safeguarding the developments achieved over time.
Indeed, some of the issues agreed upon have started being addressed, like the manifesto of NRM, the workers' future strongly. The minimum wages advisory board is already in place, since we had already discussed it at State House. With the trusted and tested leadership of the President, we have no doubt that all the commitments will be fulfilled and the plights of workers will be addressed. The ongoing labor reviews is in place, and the Ministry of Labor is working tirelessly to ensure that the Labor Unions Act is revised. Workmen's Compensation Bill is in place. The Employment Act, among others.
According to Notu, Uganda workers across different industries continue to be challenged with persistent low wages and detrimental working conditions.
Uganda, though, has adhered to key policy changes like the National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights, but it still remains a major issue at the ground because of the integration. When you see the workers' human rights violations are really on the rise, and especially in the private sector in particular, there are very many key challenges that are rising on human rights due diligence that need to be addressed. But of course, on our side as workers, we've played a key role of making sure that most of the organizations affiliated to the National Organization of Trade Unions are able to push back on some of the human rights violations and labor violations that are ongoing. We've seen also situations of climate change that has affected all spheres of and dynamics of workers in the country, and especially the women workers, where we've evidently seen issues of flooding that has destroyed a number of businesses within the downtown situations of Kampala, and also extreme heat, which has affected some of the workers within the industrial zones or the factory settings that we've seen has affected our food security and sovereignty at the same time. We would like to applaud some key investors who have also supported and worked with with unions and have accepted to unionize and integrate members to join the unions of choice.
The Treasurer General at Notu, Mauku Richard Moses, says the Labour fraternity continues to lobby government to create an independent Labour ministry to amicably address the amorphous Labour issues.
And we have been calling on government for a long time that it's important to make this ministry an independent ministry because it carries a very huge function. When you look at the levels of industrialization in Uganda, it's so high, and Labour administration has been left as a mere department within the Ministry of Gender. For example, I can cite, as we speak now, we could be having over 1 million companies that are registered with URSB. And each of those companies that are functional are meant to be inspected by a labor inspector and an occupational safety and health inspector. When you ask the Ministry of Labor how many inspectors they have less than 100. And you keep wondering, how can 100 people inspect 1 million companies, and yet they are supposed to inspect at least once each year? We have district labor officers who were under the mainstream ministry. They are now being recruited by the Ministry of Local Government. The two ministries carry different functions, and many ministries used not to even have labor officers. And you wonder, how is that district operating on matters of labor and employment without a labor officer who attends to the issues of labor? Even when we have those people, they are not supervised by the Ministry of Labor. They are supervised by local government. So even their function in undertaking labor function, it is almost not there. Because if Labor wants a report from Amuru district, you will find when the chairman LOC5 has sent the labor officer for a different duty. And for you, you have a report that you need from the district, which has a time frame. But you don't supervise the people that should give you the information. So they will give you at their own time. They don't have facilitation from labor. How do you coordinate? So it becomes a nightmare.